Hello and welcome, Mark here, and in this video we're going to complete the Christmas decoration set. And what we need today I have already laid out here in front of us. We need two colours of shiny yarn, scissors, any needle really that has got an eye big enough to sew in your ends, and of course a pair of knitting needles. Now I'm using the DPNs only because they're easier with working over a table. You get less tip tapping. So yeah, you want a yarn needle, scissors, but we don't need those just right now. And optional, you may need a crochet hook. Just move those out of the way. And the reason for is because we're going to make a pair of mitts that we can hang on our Christmas tree. I've already got one made up using the green and white, and so what we're going to do is we're going to partner this one up, and that is a complete one there, just to show you how they look. Again, I'm using the glittery yarn, the sparkle yarn, and I think that's it. So with all that said, let's get crafting, shall we? As you can see, I've already cast on my stitches. We only need 15. I'll keep this white one close by because we're working in stripes. We're going to start here, and we're going to cast on there like we have done there, and we're going to change colours to make this stripe section. So row 1, you just want one row knitted in the green, and it was just working a garter stitch border. This first row is always a bit tricky. Yes, it can always be a little bit tricky to work. Don't know why, but that's just the way it is. There you go. That's the first row done. Let's just check. Yeah, I haven't missed any, so I always like to count just to make sure. So now we add in the second colour. So we only do one row to begin with because you've got your cast on and your first row. So what we do then, we just get the second colour, make a loop around your finger with it like that. Get your needle in ready and just wrap and pull it through, and there you are, you're joined. Just tighten that up. I'm getting all tangled up now, just get that one out of the way. And now what we do is we do 2 rows in white and 2 rows in green. Let me just knit this one in, and I'll bring you back the other mitt so you can have a look. And then of course you want another row in white. So just show you there, you just do 1 row in the green, and then you want 2 in the white, 2 in the green, 2 in the white, and then 2 in the green. So in all you want to work 9 rows using a stripe effect, and then we go to white only, so that's when we cut off the green. So I'm going to continue with the stripe section, and I shall meet you back when I finish the stripe section, or maybe to the row before. And of course it's garter stitch, so it's just knit every row. Whoops, again a bit of the green in that one as well. Tut tut tut. So just carry on. And there's no need to cut the yarn or keep adding it, because we're just going to take the yarn colours up as we go. So we just do that one, just tighten that up a bit, and then we just take this one again, the green, and we just, whoops, change colour and start knitting with the green. So once I finish the stripe section, I shall be right back. Right, I'm back. Just finishing this last stripe here in the green. There we are, that's that finished. And that's what you should have by now for the cuff of the Mini Mitts, the Christmassy Mini Mitts. Okay, so we don't need this green now, so we can cut that off. Whoops, keep knocking the camera. And now we're just working with the white. I'll just untangle that. There we are. So we're back to round one. Whoops, keep knocking this camera today. And we're going to shape the thumb. So we've just got the white left there now. Take that green to the back. And what we do for row one is we knit 3, so it's 1, 2 and 3, and then we want to make a stitch, so we take this strand here, lift it up over the top of the needle like so, and make a stitch, and then we knit 2, and then we just repeat the make 1, knit 2 all the way across the row. So we just lift that strand up in the middle, because it's not easy to do that bit. If it's easy, you've done it wrong. 1, 2, take the strand, lift it over, and then go into the back, knit 1, knit into it, then knit 2. So when you've done this, you should have 21 stitches. So just knit a 2, so of course we're increasing across this row. So knit 2, get your strand, knit 2, take a strand, and then knit 2. So if I've done that right, we should now have 21 stitches. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 21. Now every even side row, or to say on the wrong side row, is just purl. So all we do on that one is we just purl all the way across the row. So we're just shaping and making pattern on the right side. So the wrong side is just purl all the way across. So I'll meet you up at the end of the row. Right, row 3. Now this is actually shaping the thumb now. So what we do is we knit 10, seven, 8, 9 and 10. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, yeah. And then we make one. Just like we did on the increased row, we take this strand that's in between the stitches. Whoops, I nearly lost that stitch then. I did lose that stitch. So I've just got to knit it again. There you are. And we just do this into the back, and we've made one. Seems a bit silly that, doesn't it? Just knit one, make one, knit one, and then make another one. So we just grab that yarn again. So you can do it with either needle. There you go. And then we knit 10. We should have 10 left. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And we knit 10. And that was row 3. Right. Row 4 is just purl all the way across. So I'll meet you back when we're ready to start row 5. Right, there we are, that's row 4 done. So now row 5 is similar to row 3. We're going to knit 10, make 1, knit 3, make 1 and knit 10. So then at the end of that row, end of row 5, we should have 25 stitches. That's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And then we make one. Then we knit 3, 1, 2 and 3. Then we make one again. This is all making the shaping for the thumb, and then we knit to the end of the row. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Yeah. Oh, I keep knocking the camera. Sorry about that. I keep knocking the camera. That is the end of row 5. As you can see the increasing starting to work here. So row 6 we just purl, and then I'll meet you back up for row 7. That is the end of row 6, which is just, like I say, just all purl. The wrong sides are just all purl. And what we do now for row 7 is again we knit 10. It's just the centre bit that's different. So we knit 10. Two, 4, 6, 8, 10, and then we make one. Can't get that in there. And then we're going to knit 5, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Then we make a stitch, and then we knit to the end of the row, and then we turn over to row 8 and purl. So I will catch up with you when we're ready to do row 9. Right, there we go. And that is row 8 done as well, because I finished row 7, which was just knitting the 10 stitches, turned, purl the wrong side, and now we're on row 9. And row 9 is when we divide to make the thumb. So in this row we knit 17. So by the time the end of row 7, when you've increased, you should have 27 stitches. I forgot to say that. So we've been knitting 10, haven't we? 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 and 17. So now we should have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, yeah. Should have 10 stitches left on there. So you knit to row 17, then you turn and purl 7. So the great thing about using the DPNs is I can bring in another needle, so we could just leave that one dangling, and we just purl 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, whoops, 5, 6 and 7. 2, 4, 6, 7. So that is the end of row 9. And we just need to work on these 7 stitches now. These 7 stitches in the middle. You could put these onto stitch holders, just say, or onto scrap yarn, just for the few rows that we need to work the thumb. And what we do now on these now, we don't need to do a lot. I'll just bring in another needle, that way we don't have to mess about with them. And we're just going to knit and purl a row. Doesn't need a lot of working, the thumb. So we knit one row, sorry, I think I'm out of camera view there. Knit one row, turn, and then purl one row. So let me just make sure I'm in the camera view there. Yeah. It's 1, 2. I keep knocking this extra needle here. I'm not used to doing this behind the camera. This is the first time I've knitted one like this. So just bear with me for a moment. There we are. So that is the knit a row, purl a row, and then we see what we do next. And the next row is knit 2 together 3 times. So now we're shaping this now. So just get those out of the way. So it was knit 2 together, wasn't it? There you are. Couldn't get my needle in there. Knit 2 together 3 times, so that's 1, 2, 2. Whoops, that didn't work right, did it? I must have gone through the strands. There you are, that's 3. And then knit the last one. So you should have 4 stitches remaining. And then we cut off the yarn and thread that through. So we're finished with the thumb. That easy and that quick. But leave enough yarn to tighten up, fasten off, and sew the thumb together with. So that's how long the thumb is. It's not very long, is it? But we'll take it to, think about there, just a little bit extra. Turn these around just so you can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to get my trusty little needle. And we're just going to take these stitches off the needle with the sewing needle and then thread that through. And there you go. That is the thumb done. And then you would see that's your thumb. Look how it's working out there now, you see. And then you would sew that up using that thread. So what we do is now we need to rejoin the yarn at this end here, work all the way across, and then work stocking stitch for 5 more rows after that. So first of all, let's bring in another needle just to rejoin the yarn. So here we are, we've got, that seems to be a bit tight there, doesn't it? So there we are, we've got the yarn ready, just looped over the finger like that. Pop it on and put it through like a normal knit stitch. And there we are now joined. I always like to cross that over, I don't know why, I just prefer to do it that way. And then we need to just knit this row. Just rejoining it all together. So that's those 10 stitches off that needle. And then we just need to pick up the 10 stitches from this one. So we just need to bring these together. Just give that a tug. Bring that up close. Oops. Keep going through the strands, don't I? And there we go. See, and then you can sew that up separately. I always tend to do it all at the end, but it tells you to do it first, but I won't, I'll leave that to the end. So there we go, now we're all joined, we're all back as one piece again. And now for the next 5 rows we're just working stocking stitch. So that's a purl row, knit a row, purl row, knit a row, and then purl row, and then we'll shape the top of the mitten. So I shall meet you all back when I've done that. When I've reached to the end of row, well, call it row 5 really. Right, I'm just finishing off a stocking stitch set of 5 rows. This is the last row to that. So there we go. That is now the 5 rows in stockinette. Stocking stitch, stockinette stitch, whatever you like to call it. Now we need to shape the top. We need to do an SKPO. And an SKPO is just simply slip one, knit one, and then pass that slip stitch over. I don't even know what I'm doing now, do I? So, first things first, whoops, nearly knitted it, slip the first stitch, knit the second stitch, and then pass that first stitch over. And that is an SKPO. Now we knit 6. That's the 6 stitches knitted. 2, 4, 6, and now we just knit 2 together. Now we just need to do that all over again. So then we slip, knit. Oops, the strands the gold silver strand getting in the way of the shiny strand there. And there you go. Knit 6. And there you go, you got 2 stitches left, and you just knit those together. Try and get the needle in without splitting the shiny yarn there. And there we go. That is the first row of decreasing. We turn again to the wrong side, and this again is just purl all the way across the row. So I shall meet back up with you when I have purled this row. Lost my yarn there. Just finishing off this purl row. Whoops. Nearly lost that stitch then, didn't I? There we are. Now for the next shape row is we're going to do similar again. We're going to SKPO, knit 4, knit 2 together, and we'll repeat that twice. So again, like we did in the previous one, slip the first stitch, knit the second, pass that first stitch over the second one, just a bit like binding off, and there we go. And then we knit 4, 1, 2, 3, and then 4, and then we knit 2 together. So we just do all that again. Slip 1, knit 1, and pass that slip stitch over. Whoops. And then knit 4 again. 3 and 4, and then we've got 2 stitches left, and we just knit those together. And there you go, that is the second row of decreasing done. I think there's only 3 rows to decreasing to do, something like that. So we should have 12 stitches now, so let's just check. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, yes. And the next row is, it's the last row of decreasing. Just checking the notes there. And what they want you to do is decrease on the purl side, so they want you to purl 2 together, purl to the last 2, and then purl those together. So it's purl 2 together, and then purl to the end, well, to the last 2 stitches. Da, 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 da. Boom, 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 boom. There we go. but it does say purl 2 together back, so you're wanting to go into this back loop here, which is just a little bit more awkward when you're doing purl 2 together. And there you go. Bit more fiddly, but it's done here. And there we are. That is the end of decreasing. Yeah, just checking my nose there. That is the end of decreasing. We should have 10 stitches. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And now we just cast these off. So before you can start casting off, you always have to knit 2 first. And then you can take one, the first one over the second. Nothing fancy, just a basic casting off. So I shall meet up with you in a moment when I have finished casting off these stitches. Right, just casting off the last stitch there, and there we are. That is that cast off. But now I like to leave myself a long enough tail to stitch all that up with, so I put them together. See, looks like a little mitt already, doesn't it? Still need to stitch that up and stitch this up, so just like to leave myself with enough yarn. Oops, not doing it right there. It's usually about 3 lengths is usually sufficient. A little bit extra there as well. And then just take that tail end through that loop and tighten it up. And there we are. So, we're going to leave it there for now. The video's already overrun half an hour, and I don't want to bore people. So we're going to finish this off in another video, so it's going to be a 2-parter. So in other words, to be continued.